It's disheartening that I've given it my all these past 2 years, and now it's not good enough. Under the ultimatum that I was given, I cannot play when the coaches don't have faith in me. I'm deciding not to play because I don't appreciate how I've been treated, and I definitely don't agree with your social media policy. Thanks for the opportunity. I wish the team well.
That was the statement that Megan Donahue read to coaches, saying she felt she had no choice but to leave the hockey team at Stevenson University, a small private college in Maryland.
Going into the 2014-15 season, our coach announced to us that they would be following us on our social media platforms, and we had to allow them to do so. If we did not comply or we felt that social media was more important, then we didn't have to be a member of the team.
When that was announced, what was your initial reaction?
I thought that was extremely creepy, that my coaches would want to see what I'm doing on my own personal time. I could be posting something about politics, I could be posting something about my family, and if they don't necessarily agree with them, they could use that in ways against me.
Like tiny Division III Stevenson, major programs have wrestled with social media issues as well. From Cardale Jones tweeting a complaint about having to attend class.
It was a dumb thing to do. I did embarrass our university.
To a Texas player retweeting negative comments from the locker room at halftime.
I'm going to delete their Twitter just so you ain't going to worry about that.
Outside the Lines asked 65 schools in the 5 major conferences about their social media policies. Of the 60 that responded, 7 had an outright ban for at least one team. Others, such as North Carolina, had a policy where athletes have to give coaches or administrators access to all public and private social media posts.
It's a clear First Amendment problem to say to someone, you know what, you cannot use this certain platform for the entire season.
Bradley Shear is an attorney who specializes in digital issues with an emphasis on sports.
Policy ends up crossing a line when it starts to say, you know what, you have to Facebook friend a coach, you have to install monitoring software. In addition, you have approximately 13 states that have enacted laws that ban this practice.
All right, make sure you retweet it.
I will.
At the University of Iowa, football players know their social media posts are monitored, and Twitter is completely off limits.
So the ban is just Twitter, right?
Yeah, correct.
Why do you think that is?
I think you just see a lot of people where they, say inappropriate things, and all of a sudden it gets blown up. It can snowball pretty quickly, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Cole Fisher, Tavon Smith, and Austin Blythe have been off Twitter since they enrolled at Iowa.
Tavon, on July 16th, 2012, you tweet, "Sorry, but this is my last tweet, y'all. It's time to deactivate this account. Following the rules, ready to go to work. Go Hawks." What was it like to have to announce that you were off Twitter?
I don't know. It was kind of funny. I mean, social media doesn't define really who I am, so I kind of just wanted to focus on football anyway, so it probably was a good thing for me.
While the 3 athletes aren't opposed to the social media rules, Blythe and Smith ran into a problem with a class project that required using Twitter.
I remember asking our player development guy if I could use Twitter for this assignment, and I think I had to make a fake one just so it didn't get kind of confused that way.
Our message wasn't, hey, student athletes, stay off of social media, be careful of what you do. It was more about what is your role, what is your responsibility.
Iowa Associate Athletic Director Liz Tovar says coaches, including head coach Kirk Ferentz, who was not made available for an interview, are allowed to set some of their own rules. But the department's overall policy is about teaching students how to be responsible on social media.
As long as a student athlete can sit there and say that, you know what, 10, 15 years down the line, I'm proud of what I said when I was 22 years of age, they have every right to do so.
Playing college athletics is a privilege and not a right. However, students do not leave their constitutional rights when they enter the locker room.
I mean, I guess it's true. I mean, that is your First Amendment, but, you have your team amendments as well.
Boyd to the end zone. Oh, what an effort!
Former Clemson quarterback Taj Boyd remembers Clemson's player-imposed social media ban that began with Twitter and later included Instagram.
I know
that a lot of the universities and the coaches get, scrutinized for telling, the team that they can't use it. But for the most part, in all those different universities that you hear it from, it all comes from the upperclassmen. Everything that you've done in that offseason, heading up to the season, can be altered by 140 characters.
Coach Dabo Swinney, who declined a request for an interview, has kept the ban in place since it started in 2011, shortly after Boyd sent out a sarcastic tweet about the arrest of a South Carolina coach.
Got brought into the office over that tweet. I do remember, Coach Swinney sitting me down and he said, look, once you type something, you may think it's going, you might have deleted it, but it's still there, so again, you just have to monitor what you do.
I don't think they really had much sympathy, or they didn't put themselves in a student athlete's shoes and understand that this is part of our generation.
When Megan Donahue opposed her team's social media policy, she proposed that instead of trying to control and monitor what athletes post, coaches and administrators should focus on teaching student athletes how to use social media in a positive way.
This is part of branding ourselves, and this is part of sharing what we do in life with our friends.
In June, a law went into effect in Maryland that made it expressly illegal for universities to demand access to student social media accounts. But that was too late for Donahue.
I think what I've taken away from this most is just having the ability to stand up for myself and speak for student athletes that maybe don't even recognize that what is happening is illegal or unethical.